Greetings, everybody. So, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my experience last week, and it's a little vulnerable because there are some personal elements to it and also incredibly meta macro elements as well, and how those correspond, especially in relationship with parts work. And that's the specific aspect to it that I feel could be helpful for others, hence why I'm feeling inspired to share. So, this was a deep dive last week with psilocybe natalensis. And when it was opening with this deep dive, it brought up a lot of fear. So a lot of fear came up and actually a lot of freeze. So freeze that was held in my nervous system from various experiences. As I traversed through that threshold of fear and freeze, and it really started opening up, I entered a really meta state. Meta as in the whole. And I was experiencing creation, undifferentiated creation, making the choice to say yes to all possibilities. Without judgment, without hierarchy, without right or wrong. This first template of creation, creating, was an impulse to say yes. Yes to all that is, all possibilities. And then from that choice, another choice. And the choice was to play hide and seek with itself and peekaboo. Because as the source of all that is, how much fun would it be to play hide and seek and peekaboo with yourself in all the different ways, all the different expressions, all the different myriad of facets of fractalized, individualized expressions of self meeting itself again and again and again. And so I was experiencing that that choice to play hide and seek and how much fun it would be. I was really having that felt sense of the fun of playing hide and seek and peekaboo. Peekaboo. How much fun it would be, how much excitement there'd be in playing hide and seek in all the different ways possible. And then, corresponding that or relating that to my own experience with lots of suffering, lots of pain, lots of discord, lots of tension points, and also the existential crises, those existential pains of separation, of abandonment, and of mistrust of the source of life, because how could a benevolent source of life create all of what we perceive? So they're not necessarily all conscious, but there's these wounds or these tension points, let's say. So my own field of awareness and consciousness, the personal parts that have experienced wounding around disconnect and suffering, separation, mistrust, abandonment, on a bigger archetypal level and also more personal, individual levels as well. Those parts were reorienting to this creation as all that is, making the choice, because that was the most exciting choice to make. And so I was able to perceive making the choice and at the same time experiencing the personal parts, angry and hurt and suffering and mistrusting and experiencing that abandonment wound, and they were orienting to, wait, we made this choice. I made this choice. I know this gets strange because it's very meta and then very personal. I'm getting there. So the parts are reorienting to this. Oh, I chose this in some way. So they're kind of orienting towards that choice, this choice of the great self, the greater self, making a choice to play hide and seek. And then to say yes to all possibilities. because it was the most exciting, the most fun thing to do. And so from that vantage point, the creation point, lens perspective, being able to meet those parts and welcome them home and say, hey, I'm so sorry you experienced all that you experienced. I'm so sorry. Welcome home. I'm here. And that was fucking awesome. So simultaneously, there's a acknowledgement of all the pain points of having that experience, and also the celebration of having that experience. Because how much fun is it to play hide and seek? And then those parts, take their time in settling and relaxing, and they're going to continue to take their time fully surrendering and relaxing into this reorientation of me connecting with a transpersonal meta aspect of creation that made the choice to play hide and seek, and really feeling that joy and excitement in that choice, that felt sense of excitement. And then from that vantage point, helping welcome all parts home with compassion, tenderness, forgiveness, acknowledgement of all the pain and discord, tension, suffering. So there's this reconciliation that's possible for me, in a strange way, owning the choice to play hide and seek with myself. And we don't have to get too philosophical with the personal and the meta in this, but just owning the choice to play hide and seek. It's been really hard to be disconnected, to feel separate, to feel abandonment, and how much fun is it to find myself again. Peekaboo.